Good evening, guys, and welcome to P0 on this fine Sunday evening. Tonight it is round 12 and we head again on the channel to Spa. I think this is the last one where all three leagues that I commentate on clash on the same track, so a little bit of variation from P0 inbound next week. For some reason and some coincidence we managed to just clash on our calendars for just a couple of weeks. But in terms of the championship, Rob Wills leads the way even after that Matthew victory last week on 263. He has a 41 point advantage to Matty behind. Matthew closed the gap down to Matty to only 15 points. Matty on 222, Matoman in P3 on 207. Then we've got Shiv in P4 on 183 and Mika P5 on 137. Skarma P6 on 116 and Dixie P7 on 112. Then Mick in P8 on 104. Leon Evans P9 on 86. Laverick P10 on 70. Then we have Pedro P11 on 54. Yeri P12 on 42. Then Keith P13 on 41. Jock P14 on 32, then Brown Dog P15 on 31, Speechy P16 on 30, Rodos P17 on 28, then we have Alvin Evans P18 on 26, Dale P19 on 20, and Metcalf on 10 points in P20. In terms of constructors' standings, Rob Wills and Dixie lead the way. They've got quite a comfortable margin now at this point, 133 points. So I find that Constructors' Championship, in fact, looking at the table, 133 point gap. They need to just score well in the next 3 races and they will tie that up in Singapore. If they both finish in the top 5 for the next 3, or top 6, I think the Constructors' Championship will be tied up a few races early. Williams still trying to chase them down. The Matty and Dale Sunter there in second on 242. Then we have Matty and Matoman and Alvin Evans, the Alfa Romeo boys, in 233, so they're actually closing in. They're only 9 behind Williams Racing, so Alfa Romeo trying to catch them back up. Then we've got Shiv and Keith and the McLaren there in P4, and they're on 224. 22 points behind them is Skarma and Leon, the Mercedes boys. Then in P6 we have the Alpha Tauri, Mika and Pedro. They are on 198, so they're only 4 points behind Skarma and Leon Evans, so there's a big fight on for that P4 spot in the championship. Then we've got Laverick and Metcalf in P8 and the Aston Martin, they're on 80, who are being tailed by 6 points, the Alpine boys of Jock and Yeri. They're on 74. And then we have the Haas boys of Brown Dog and Rodos in P10, they're on 59 points. So another evening of Spa, where weather can play a big factor. Evening Mick, I hope all my friends do well as I love them. Oh, you're actually saying good luck to the slug? Stephen, that must have hurt. Sorry I never joined you yesterday, by the way. If you're off tomorrow, oh wait, it's race night tomorrow. We'll sort something out, Stephen. Evening Skarma and Jock's calling me Chris 2.3 seconds. You don't need to. Don't flatter me, Jock, because I'm crap. And I'm not just saying that to make myself feel better or make you feel better. I am genuinely crap. So, here we go. 19 grid. 19 driver grid today, so plenty of action, I would think. Oh, I'm sorry then. Fuck you. Oh, sorry. That was to you, Stephen, by the way, just so you know that. So a lull in the wait to get out of the pits. I'm surprised nobody's scampered off now. Our guys having a good look at weather here. I'm reporting you for swearing on stream. Commentators can't get penalties. I mean, you can kick me off for a night. I'll take tomorrow night off. I'm fine with that. Get myself some chill time. So I think that could be Shiv heading out the garage. Yes, it is. But we do have, I think it's Rodos up ahead. Yep. First man out on track. The man in the Hess. Oh, and a bit of moment there, is it? There's a big snap of oversteer. Coming down through Eau Rouge. And who is this not far behind them? I think it could be Dixie. Dixie it is. Ferrari man, he's been in some good form recently as well. He needs to stay out the early incidents to capitalise on the pace. In terms of pace, form has been okay for Dixie. Good evening, Rob. I think another driver that could be, has always been there, but maybe race is not went his way, would be Jock. I think Jock's thoroughly deserving of a good result. Or more good results, I should say. So Adam is still behind Rodders. Rodders is going to be our first man to open a hot lap, but we have all drivers bar 4 out on track. So a busy little circuit. You see that if you look at the track map bottom right, sector 2 is a bit busy with drivers, so they need to be careful of that, not get themselves all caught up in any shenanigans. As Rodders comes through bus stop chicane to open up his first hot lap of the day. And that big puff of dust there as he gets off line, try to line himself up for turn 1. Nice try, Stephen. You will not get me with that. So into sector 1 we go. And we will watch to see what kind of lap time he puts up here. It's it's going to be somewhere in the 30s, I think. It's a 30.9. So we'll now go to Dixie, who is coming up behind him. And it's a 30.5 on the medium tyre for Dixie. Nice view through the visor there. Pushing the limits as much as he dares. Rob just done it to give him it. Hey. So Dixie carrying good speed there on the major through Pouillon. Who's further behind? I think that is Mr. Shiv. Also just coming through Pouillon. The men in the McLaren. Mike, what is that chatter in the... What even is that? You deserve ratio for just saying blood. That's a ratio in itself. So Rodders now onto top spot. Dixie will not be far behind him though, and he goes to a 45 flat in his medium compound tyre, but Shiv not far behind, just coming out of bus stop. I think he'll go to the top of the timing boards on the soft compound. It's a 43.5, 1.5 seconds ahead of Adam. He's on the medium compound though. So who's next? Is that Alwyn Evans coming into bus stop chicane? Yes it is. Michael is a roadman. And it's a 49.4 for Alwyn Evans. So who do we have coming down that back straight now? Who's this? It's Metcalf we're on board with. There is somebody ahead about to set a time, so I'll watch the leaderboard. It was Yerry, he goes into P2 in a 45.0, and then Metcalf does a 204.7, so, but he's just turned the energy on, so I think he had a bit of a moment in his lap. It's now Skarma and Keith both slot in P2 and P3, 43.6 for Skarma and a 44.8 for Keith. How was Dale getting on? He's threading his way through some traffic. Pedro's on an invalidated rummer, but Mick out the last corner. He's on the medium compound tyre. He's going to be close to Dixie. He's pretty much there or thereabouts. It's a 45.5 for Mick into P7. Pedro going to go for another run in his lap. How is Leon Evans getting on? He's just coming up over Radion now. So we'll stay with him. For some reason the game wants us to look at his rear wing. I hate when it does that, and now it's front. Oh, a nice little view there as we see him carry the speed through the first chicane. Not really attacking all the curbs, did a lot more there, but then could have used a lot more of the exit curb. Also, Shiv now setting the pace, second run in his soft compound tyre, a 43.4 now. That's something you do not want to do at Belgium. You do not want to start the race on a tyre you have done the double run. I can assure you that. Wear is pretty high here. You're probably only going to do about 7 laps on the soft compound tyre, 8 laps at a push, if that's what you plan on starting the race on. So putting an extra lap into that tyre is never going to be beneficial to your race. So Shiv will be hoping to improve on a singular run later on. As Dixie seems to have had a bit of a moment. I don't know if that's him just letting the traffic through, but Leon now coming up to bus stop chicane. He's going to be the 11th man to set a time. On the board, here he comes, and it's a 44.1. Leon puts himself up to P4. Battle Championship leader, Mr. Rob Wills, comes through the left kink to head down the hill towards Puyon. There's something McLaren ahead, staying well out the rear. I think that's Shiv. How much speed does Rob Carey chooses to use the brake into Puyon? So definitely some time on the board. Rob is leading the championship by 41 points. Matoman did have like a 30-point advantage, and Rob picks up an invalidation there. Oh, I think you'd be a bit annoyed there, because that looked lazy. It looked well in track limits, and then he had a little steering moment, and it pulled him out the circuit. Yeah, he overturned Matthew's 30-point advantage in about 5 races, or 6 races to go to a 42-point lead. And now Matthew's in third. We've got Matty, who is not here actually. Oh no, Matty is here. Matty, this man, in P2 in the championship. There's an 8-point gap between Matty and Matthew Walker. Matthew Walker is washed. Fact. That is a big fat fact. Oof. Sorry, Matthew. Oh, and Dale there, getting away with one. That certainly looked like he was well out the track limits there, but manages to keep the lap time. I don't know what kind of camera the game is giving us there, but terrible. As Dale now into bus stop chicane he comes. And through the last corner now, DRS open to the line. It's going to be somewhere in the 45. So 45.2 for Dale. He slots himself just inside that top 10 at the moment. Go back to Jock. He's just coming through Puyon. We'll go on board with Alpine man. So Jock through Blanchimont. 1 or 2 corners left. One chicane. How much a curb does he use in bus stop? You've got to be cautious of that on the inside there. That can really upset the rear of the car. Opens the steering. DRS open, and Jock goes to P5. It's a 144.3 for Jock. I think he'd be reasonably happy with that lap there. Where is Brown Dog on another invalidated run? That's a shame for Brown Dog. Maybe go again, we'll keep an eye on that one. Maverick having a big lift there up over Radion, so definitely this lap, maybe scared of dropping the rear of the car. As we have a flurry of drivers heading out in that second run of the session. Oh, and he has a snap moment there, does Laverick, and it pulls him over the curb, the outside curb at turn 6. And gives him an invalidation. MRD back in the chat. Good evening, sir. Hope you are well. So Matty, the man in P2, let's go on board. Oh, and he picks up an invalidation as well, heading down towards Puy on the corner just before, and that's going to be his lap over. Pedro, one of the men not to have set a lap yet. See how he's getting on. Matty Laverick. Oh, where is Chubby Slug on track? Oh, he's just opening one. Brown Dog. Let's take Brown Dog. He's another man not set a lap. He's a little further on. Although he's not using any energy. So I wonder why Brown Dog's not got the ERS on at the moment. Who improved there? Oh, Dixie's had a bit of a moment. That is a wingless car. Mika Lando did improve. I think it may have been Mika actually. He went to P7, 44.4. And Robble's just letting some traffic go through. I think there's a lot of outlaps here, so I'll try and pick my way through and figure out who is actually on a lead lap. I think Pedro may be one of the men, and Pedro now also driving round wingless. The Cubs starting to claim some victims. He does well there, just Pedro to get out of the way. I think that's maybe why he scampered across that corner. Chubby Slug on an invalidated lap as well. That's not what they need. They do not need to be picking up invalidations at this point. You really want to get one banker lap in the session, because there's got to come a time where you need to push on in the lap time. So is Matterman going to box here? He's going to go again, and I think this will put him down now. So Matterman's got this hit at it, it'll be a second. I think he should have boxed in and went to a fresh compound of soft and came out for just that last run. Because now, if this is a good lap, he's not going to have time to get back to the pits, and he's going to have to start the race on a double run soft compound tyre. So, not the way Matthew's title challenge was supposed to play out today, I think you feel. Although I expect Matterman to still be competitive and the lap time still be in the car when he does get a lap time on board. It's a 30.2 sector 1, so he's right on the pace, if not actually a little ahead of it, taking a very nice line through the chicane. You can see just how smooth a driver. I think this is what gives Matthew a little bit of an advantage here. He's got a bit of fluency, although he's on the controller. Close to picking up an invalidation, so let's see his commitment to put on. Small touch of the brakes. Still though, staying in 8th gear, carrying all the speed, taking the tighter line down the hill as well, which is good to see. He's trying to maximise the lap time through that second chicane, nice and tidy. And absolutely flat out now, all the way up through Blanchimont to bus stop chicane, minimise the distance as much as you possibly can. And I think Matthew is on set here to go to the top of these timing sheets, so into the bus stop chicane he goes. Tucks up nicely to both apexes, could maybe use a little bit more curb, but maybe not want to take too much out the tyres. And it's going to be, it's a 42.9 for Matterman. He's got a half-second advantage now on Shiv. So Matthew piles on the pressure. That'll be his qualifying over though. But if he was only going to get that one win, that's a good lap time. To have a half-second margin is exactly what you need. Keith on a hot lap as well, so we'll stay with Keith. How's Shiv getting on actually? Oh, so Shiv's just starting, so Keith's much further on in the lap, so we'll stay with him. So all drivers now, bar Leon and Mick, out on the track, on an out lap or on a hot lap. But Keith is going to be the next man. Oh no, he's going straight into the pit. So that's it for Keith. His qualifying is over. Let's go to Mr. Dixie. He's on a lap. Where is Dale, in fact? Oh, Dale just coming out the last corner. So Dale now goes to a 44.7. He gets himself to P13. Jumps Adam at the moment. I think Adam's had a couple of moments in his lap. And Matty's further ahead. Matty staying away for the track limits this time around. He's staying well away for that one. Running a bit of the grass here, so compromised entry here at Pouillon. And yep, it pulls him wide. The touch of the grass there. He runs the grass on the entrance to Pouillon, and he's got a minute. I think he has the lap time at the time. And Dale somehow has been disqualified for going the wrong way. I think he's had a moment. So I think Matty has the time in the car, time in the session to get round and go again. But does he have the fuel in the car? Oh, as we see Shiv's at the moment, I think he's clipped the barrier, and Shiv went to P2. It's a 43.0. He misses out on pole by half a tenth of a second. Dixie now 8 tenths up, so a low 44. Dixie about to catapult himself up close to this top 10. Can he get much deeper inside the top 10? Challenge for a top 6 spot. If he could get a mid 43 out of the car, he'd be very well positioned here. Tucks it up nicely at bus stop. Oh, his car seemed a bit lazy there in that second turn in, but he gets the DRS open and goes to the line, and he goes a 43.8 and up into the top 6. Now who is behind him? Jock. Let's see, Jock's got a sector split coming up. He's a couple of tenths up, but he needs more. Jock needs half a second to find the time. But where is Rob? How is Rob getting? Oh, Rob showing half a second, and this could be very, very close here between Rob and Matoman. It's Rob now into bus stop chicane. He comes in. Can he get that top stop back off Chubby? He does not. It's a 43.005 and 4/100ths of it, or 6/100ths of a second the gap. And I think, although Skarma is 4 tenths up, that's what it's shown in his split. As he got any time in the last corner, I think Skarma is going to stay P4, but he will solidify that. Let's see though, DRS open for Skarma. To the line he goes, he does solidify. Oh, and he just misses out in P3 by the smallest of margins, another half a tenth gap. And Alwyn Evans now, is he shown as up at all? I'm not so sure. To the line he goes. And he does improve. He improves by a tenth of a second, goes to a 43.5. And I think that could be session over. Oh no, Matty. Matty here. So where can Matty put the car? Of course, we know this is the second run in the soft compound tyre. That is not what you want. We also know Matoman is in the same situation. So Matty out the last corner, he's not set a time yet, and he goes on to pole position by 3/100ths of a second. Not even, it's just over 2/100ths of a second. Matty, in the death of the session, snatches pole position by Matoman by absolutely nothing. So our 3 championship protagonists are on the top 3 in track. P2 in the championship is first, P3 in the championship is second, and first in the championship is P3. In fact, our top 4 in the championship is the top 4 on the grid. So could we see some interesting tactics come into play later on? Dixie's just getting well out of the way. Is Metcalf on another lap? I don't think he is. He's got a broken wing, so it's just waiting on these guys coming round. So Matty will take pole position by 0.024. Absolutely nothing in it. And then there's nothing between Chubby Slug and Rob Wills, and if there's nothing splitting off top 4, they are under a tenth, or just over a tenth between them. 0.101 splitting 4 drivers, 0.130 splitting a 180. It's crazy. Top 5, tenth in it, tenth and a half. Yep, it's pretty bonkers. Well set for an exciting race. And of course, the guys behind, as long as they can stay in that DRS, we know how powerful the toe is here. So bear with me, chat. So I'm back, chat. Now, I was just thinking there while I was away for a minute. Is being on pole position the best thing at Spa? I'm not so sure. You may want... Oh my god. Well. It looks like we have some rainy conditions and I need to go see if this is intermediate conditions. Yes, it is. So, what happens now? We've got a longer race ahead of us. That's what certainly happens. I know, SPW. A tent split in the top 5 and then they put rain and ruin it. I agree. Rain, although it's exciting to watch, it absolutely kills the spectacle that is motor racing. Somebody needs to make a wet tyre that somehow gives the grip that a dry tyre does. How they do that, I don't know, but then it would be insane. Oh. So we're just waiting on the guys. I'm gonna grab myself a little drink for the race. So, don't think we're quite yet away on the formation lap. We are not, we are waiting on every day, so we will just having a little moment. So, I hope everything's okay. Oh, there we go. We have the timer on the screen. I did not notice that to begin with. So, formation lap inbound in a damp old Belgian track. And I think SPW in the chat has got this one absolutely bob on. This could be race round, although let's hope the guys try and put on some form of a show. So, intermediate strategy. Has anybody bold enough to take the intermediates the distance? They can do it. They very much can. So, row 1 for P0, round 12 of Belgium will be Matty and Chubby Slug. Row 2 will be Rob Wills and Shiv. Row 3, Skarma and Arwen. Row 4, Dixie and Mika. Row 5, Leon and Jock. Row 6, Mick and Keith. Row 7, Yeri and Metcalf. Row 8, Brown Dog and Rodders. Row 9, Laverick and Pedro, and row 10 on his lonesome at the back there is Dale. You're getting PTSD. Uh-oh. At least they've got the green tyres on. You're a man, Stephen. If this was you, mate, you'd have put the mediums on. Say to hell with it. Is that every Spa race? It's apart from HOR. All the other 3 Spa races this week had wet weather. We use wet on Monday evening. Stephen, do you remember? So the grid filters on round, and Dale bringing up the rear. And this is now just about keeping the car on track. Run your race and hope and pray there's no big incidents ahead. This is a big check up and pace out. As Matty now tries to check up the grid and just close them all up together. He wants to give them as small an advantage as possible. I now think that's the game doing the rest. So here we go. Matty filters into his grid slot, and the game has also got control of Dale. So once Dale goes into his slot, we will get to the front of the grid and get ready for lights out. And it's all about the start this evening. So we'll go to Matty as we watch from all the way down at turn 1 for some unknown reason, as we get 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and a big raindrop in the middle of the screen, and it's lights out and we are away. And I have no idea who's getting a better start, because we're watching from 50,000 metres away. Somebody has a big moment and hits the wall. I think that was Rob Wills. He had a big traction moment off the line and he has tumbled down the order. Our championship leader has had a mare at the start. Chubby Slugs got himself up to, or stayed in P2. Matty's managed to scamper himself away, but look at Skarma, he's all over the back. He's up 2 positions, as is Dixie. Dixie and Arvin go side by side. Are they going side by side up Eau Rouge? Oh my god, I thought the guys were going side by side up Eau Rouge, but Dixie now gets on that energy, and we'll see the straight line speed of that Ferrari really start to take effect. And look at this, there's Mika Lando. He's going to go to the inside line, they'll go 3 wide, and I think Arvin will lose 2 positions up the Kemmel straight there. Yes, he does, but let's look at the gaps further back in the order. Is there anything else happening? What's happening to our championship leader? Did he pick up any damage? I think he got away with that, but now he's got to pick his way through, which is going to be a very open field. And as the longer the laps go, the more spread these guys will get. You see everybody just searching to find some grip on the track. As Rob Wills, after that early moment, I think it was just pure traction at the start, he's had a big oversteer moment and has brought the car round. But Pedro, look at Pedro, he's went from P18 to P11, he's got up 7 positions off the start. He leads the train from Laverick behind. In fact, he's in a little bit of no man's land, so he's just hoping to catch up now to the back of Yeri and Jock and the likes, and see if he can get himself involved. Dixie as well having a good old start. He's up a couple of positions. He's in a good old Ranger Shiv. He's got Mika not far behind for good measure. But of course, in the rain, you get a lot of chance to use a lot of energy. It's very hard to get anything done. So any early position gained could be critical to your finishing result. As Matty sets the fastest lap of the race now. 2 minute 1.3. So can Matterman mount a charge on Matty here? Let that thing out of the way on the screen and we'll be able to see how much energy Matterman's got. So he's quite high, and he carries very good speed up. Eau Rouge is much more committed than Matty. Matterman wants some of this. He's going to pull to the inside line. He's on the energy. Matty will now drag race him as they head side by side up to turn 4. Matterman on the inside line though, and Matty cannot fight that too hard, and through Matterman goes. Further down the order, is there any action? We've got Armin Evans half a second. This little queue behind Shiv here starting to build. Matterman not quite getting away from Matty, although you see there Matterman in a much better line to put on, and you just see that gap open up. If that does that every couple of corners, Matthew is going to get away from Matty very, very quickly here. Mick now starting to get himself into a position to strike these guys up front as well. And remember, Shiv right on the back of Skarma as well, so all these guys in the queue from Skarma down to Mick at the moment. This is a podium fight for them. so there is good points on offer. It's just so hard to make any good gains on drivers though. Nah, I think he was double shifting there. He not wanting to do that. Just to stay away from that paddle. And there gets a much better exit that time around, and he's able to put tenths onto Mika Lando just out that one corner. Carries very good speed down through a Rouge and up through a Radon. I think he just got away with a track limits there, just, but still not close enough. And now look, Matoman 1.2 seconds ahead, and he's only had half a lap, a clear running now against Mate, or a full lap, sorry, and he's cleared a second. So if he keeps going like that, well, you can see the size of the gap with there being 18 laps to go. So we get a yellow flag in sector 2, and somebody's had a moment. Who's this? I think it's Yeri. Yeri is round, he's going to rejoin back to track, and Matoman now picks up his first time penalty. Now this is where it can get very, very interesting. Time penalties. Shiv now closing up on Skarma, so we're going to see Shiv maybe get a run in Skarma here. Can he get the run? Is Skarma using? He is a little bit. Oh, and he's going to go very wide there. That'll definitely be a warning for track limit, so Skarma will need to try and settle that down because he does not want to pick himself up. Oh, and DRS has been enabled. Oh, and I think it could be very early to get onto the dry tyres, by the way. I think it's too early. Maybe just a lap or so. So, all change, guys, diving into the pits, and now you've got to think a big bold medium call all the way to the end of the race. I think it could be the way to go. Let's look at tyres. It's mediums for Chubby Slug, mediums for Mick, and a soft tyre for Matty and Scammer. Now, the soft tyre is going to have massive, massive advantages in the early phases here, but it's only going to last 7 laps, so by halfway point in this race, 11-12 laps, they're going to have to get off that tyre. The thing is, they can go to a soft again, but it's not quite at the 14 lap point where you can do 2 softs. And Matoman's out! What has happened with Matoman? Matoman and Skarma, they've had an incident, and Matoman is out of the race. Skarma tumbles to P10, he's just out the pits on the softs, but Matoman is out. What has happened there? Are we going to get a safety car? That could change everything dramatically. Now, if the safety car comes, these guys at pit have just been absolutely hammered. It's just showing a yellow flag in sector 1, but that looks like a car round at Eau Rouge, right on the racing line. And we cannot see from there. In fact, what we see here, oh, it's just been took away. So we go back to green flag racing. What has happened there to Matoman? Let's look at this gap here. Is the soft tyre working? Yes, it is. So the slick tyres are now well in play, but I think the mediums are the best call. I think you just need to get through the early phase in the medium tyre, and it's going to give you back later. So I predict Shiv and Adam now are coming into the pits. Oh, Shiv misses, he's braking by a big distance, and Adam filters in behind. Mika comes in. Arwen Evans having a big moment through Blanchimont. It's just the intermediate tyres not carrying the grip. So let's see what the drivers go to. They have a choice. You can double soft it, which is risky, or you can go to the medium compound, which also is a little bit risky, but would take you to the end of the race. So Adams went for the medium compound tyre, as did Mika Lando. Shiv and Matty both went to the soft, so this strategy is blown open now. Matoman and Shiv, they need to go. They don't have a choice. They can't wait around. They have no option but to get the foot down now. They need to open a pit stop gap, or at least get 10 seconds up the road from Dixie and Mika to give themselves any hope at making a double soft work here, and they've got to try and make 2 soft tyres do 17 laps. That is a lot on that soft compound tyre. The mediums at a stretch will get there. I think the medium tyre will get you to the end from here. So, interesting factors ahead. And it's a fair split of the grid. A lot went for mediums and a lot went for softs. 2, 4, 6, 7 for softs. So that means we've got 11 on the mediums. And somebody said a moment there, who's that? Is that Rodders? Oh no, I don't think it is. I think it could be Dale. And Skarma's out. Skarma's out of the session. What's that on? Skarma's dropped at El Rouge. Coming up over Radion, and now Skarma's out. Will this now be a safety car? Is it going to be? We'll watch for that full course yellow, but I don't think it will be. And Adam is actually railing Shiv in on his medium compound tyre. No safety car, then straight back to green flag racing. As Matty now sits the fastest lap, a 48.6, and you see the lap times have absolutely crumbled. We're going about 12 or 14 seconds quicker than we were at the start of the race. We're only 5 laps in. So the pace of the track is ramping up massively. And of course we have some DRS that might make some overtakes. Jerry and Rodders. I think that's Jerry just getting through, and Rodders actually. Shiv picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. That is not what you want. Dixie going to be put under pressure here from Mika Lando on his medium compound tyre. DRS, quite a simple pass as they head up the Kemmel Straight. And Chris White will go through. Adam wants back into that toe, and now he will try and stay with Mika and just use the DRS to his advantage. Rob Wills, though, our championship leader, he is making big comeback gains here. And Skarma, that is so unfortunate. So Skarma out, Matoman out. Stephen came in and wished them all luck and gave them all bad luck. And Adam is managing to stay in the DRS range here, and Mika has used a lot of energy. He's down to 40%. Adam up at that 70% range, so I think we'll see Adam come through again as Matty sets another fastest lap of the race, a 46.5. So this is where I'm interested now to see what kind of pace difference we are seeing. It's going to be about, it's about 2 seconds a lap. So at that pace, Matty will very much scamper away. But the drop-off pace in his soft compound tyre is going to be brutal. Jock and Arwins, now Jock, the cock in the bottle for Rob Wills, our championship leader, is still stuck behind that Arwins queue. He's had to use up a bit of the energy to get his cell back through. He is up back to P8 though, so he's had a good recovery. And they have a yellow flag, somebody having a moment there. I think that may have been Pedro. Rob now closing in, and Jock, well, we see him moving into the chicane. I don't think he's going to be close enough this time around. Dixie ahead, staying in that DRS gap as well, and these are kind of our only 2 DRS gaps. And what's happened here? Somebody's had a bit of a moment, and Metcalf is out now. This very much could be it. Is the safety car. Safety car is out, so now you go to another medium tyre. You've got to take the pit stop. I think you go safe. I think we'll see most drivers go to that medium compound tyre and go all the way to the end of the race. Some may choose to just continue. Those that went to the mediums can definitely go to the end now. Definitely go to the end. But Dixie is going to take that punt. He's going to go for that medium compound, a fresh rubber. Get himself all the way to the end of the race, guaranteed. So what did Matty got a puncture? What on earth has happened to Matty coming into the pits? Look, he's got 3 wheels and he's driving. He's 22 miles an hour. The AI won't go any faster. Guys are getting stuck behind him now in the pit lane. It's all kicking off because Matty's got a puncture. He's limping and it's having detrimental effects to other drivers behind. What the hell has happened there? And that has hurt all of these guys so much there. They've got drivers got through. They should have never have got through in that queue. Matty with a puncture doing 20 miles an hour in the pits. That is brutal. So on the safety car, I think we are now at where we should be. And Shiv's out. What's happened to Shiv? Shiv has dropped it now. Oh, Rouge under safety car. He's had a moment and he's in the wall. Oh, he's dropped the car coming up the hill. What is going on? Wow, how this race has changed. And now all the advantage that was against Rob 8 laps in, almost at the halfway point, is swung all into his favour. Matty has got a job on his hands here. And Dixie got out behind the guy, so he's still the lead man in the queue on the fresh rubber. So Dixie does have an advantage here. So do not count Dix out of this race victory at all. I think it'll be quite a long safety car as well, with Pedro trying to catch up to the pack. So Mika Lando leads away, Jock in P2, Rob Wills 3, Nyeri P4, Dixie P5, Mick P6, Matty P7, Rodos P8, Alvin P9, Brown Dog P10, Leon P11, Dale P12, Keith P13, Laverick P14, Pedro P15, and we've lost Shiv, Metcalf, Skarner and Chubby. As Rodos now goes into the pits. He'll probably go to a medium compound tyre here. He wants off, that's soft. It's a good idea as well. You're better just to go onto the back of the queue. In fact, I don't even think it'll be the queue. Stay ahead of Keith. And he will come out on a fresh medium compound tyre, able to try and make some moves. So, chat, who you got now? Mika Lando versus Rob Jock right here as well. And Jock, my fellow compadre Scotsman, I wish you all the best in your attack. Just don't do a Bahrain attack. That could be quite scary. Oh, and there's nearly a big crash there. Wow! Jesus. Mika got on the throttle a bit there and then checked up the brakes very hard just as Jock was getting on throttle. No one driver doing anything wrong there, it's just that's what happens in the queue if one gets on the brakes and one gets on the throttle at the same time. And Jock nearly took himself and Mika well out of the equation in this race. Stop saying my name. Sorry, Jock. Is that why you had that moment? Stop watching the stream. You've got a race to focus on. You're in P2, lad. So, safety car will come in this lap. I think we'll get the call just. As the safety car rounds this corner, it will float out to the curb and bang, top of the screen. Safety car in this lap. And that was quite scary. I said bang and it literally popped up. So, Mika sets the pace. One nice consistent pace up this back straight. And then it's up to him when he chooses to pull that trigger and launch the pack back to full pace racing. Of course, no green flags till they cross that safety car line. But Chris has the option to pull the trigger when he sees fit. Alright, let me get the restart done, Shiv. So Mika, is he going to pull the trigger? He is pulling it straight off that rear corner. Can Jock mount any form of a challenge at the moment? I don't think he can. Who else is looking close? Yeri close to Rob Wells, but I don't think there'll be anything arising at the moment. And I think we're all just going to plateau here through turn one. I think the gap's been opened, or the gaps have been opened between the cars pretty evenly, so I'm going to take a moment to get Shiv into the party. Bear with me 1 second, Mr. Shiv. Here he comes. Ha! I know that you're David this time. Ha! As Yeri picks up a time penalty, he's in that top 4 position as well, so that's going to be critical as Dixie really is hounding him now as they head downhill towards turn 8. And Yeri's going to defend that inside line, but here goes Dixie, puts the nose down the inside, and that's a good opportunistic overtake there from Adam. Capitalised on Yeri's mistake through, he goes up to P4, and he is not hanging around on the fresh tyres. Good evening, Shiv.
Good evening, you alright?
I am very well, sir. What happened? Did you drop it? Gonna put Raddy on?
Yeah, dropped it at the top of the hill.
No.
Cold medium tyres and dropped it.
It's a shame as well because the mediums were, I think, the very good strategy at that point in the race. The softs were never going to go the distance, and even to two-stop on the softs from there was a tough old ask.
Maxie had a puncture in the pit lane.
Yeah, and he was holding everybody at like 20 miles an hour. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
As we've got Mick.
We'd have probably come out ahead of Rob and Dixie if it weren't for the puncture, I reckon.
Ah, nice. So is Mick going to try round the outside the bus stop? Yeri will try and cover that off. He'll have the inside line for the second part of the chicane, but Yeri can just get that better line. Oh, let's go to that. Oh yeah, it's a bit of a gaggle of cars here. Matty trying to get himself involved. A move into turn 1 coming. Oh, not quite this time around. One more lap, of course, for DRS. So it's all on you as Mick picks up his first time penalty at turn 1. So that's going to be detrimental. And of course, Matty's focus here, Shiv, has to be Rob. He's got to get to Rob.
Yeah, absolutely.
And while we say that, Dixie is creeping up, although he's just lost a bit of time there. Coming up the straight, but for the moment, Dale had a moment.
Oh, he's at the top here.
Staying still, thank God for ghosting. So what's happening further back? This Matty battle is here. We've got Yeri pushing again, but Mick's going to go down the inside, and this is going to be twice here where Yeri's lost a position here at turn 8, and Mick will get through. And Matty is looking desperate behind as well. He's going to come to the inside, down towards Put On Me Go, and this will be a very bold place to get an overtake done if he can. They'll go side by side, any contact, and it's over, and somehow he gets through. That is a very brave place to do some racing.
Oh, wow, he's going to go around the outside as well. Oh, a bit more contact.
Oh, and yeah, he's out wide. Oh, he nearly drops the rear of the car. Whew. Very close.
Aaron's pace in that Alfa Romeo is very good.
He has been very good today.
Yeah, he's dropped it. Yeah, he's dropped it out of the second Stabler.
Oh, and is he going to keep it out of the wall? Has he got damage? I think he does.
He will have damage, yeah, definitely.
I hope nobody picked up a puncture there. There was a big chunk of wing sitting right in the middle of the track.
Rob's in Jock's DRS. Or he will be.
Well, let's go to that one yet, because DRS enabled this lap. Our championship leader. Can he close down that gap to Mika and win the race? Mika's looked good today, and Chris has looked very comfortable. and he believes in his strategy, Cole. Will we see these mediums tail off at the end though? That's the question. They could just... But Rob's going to go through quite a simple DRS pass in the end. I don't want to say Jock's name because he asked me to stop.
Probably. Matty's going through on Nick as well.
Oh yeah.
He's done that.
So Matty up to P5. And now Matty is approaching Dixie, who will be in no interest to give him any bit of space on the track. Dixie's got his teammate ahead. Dixie can be a very good teammate, so I expect Matty, if and when he gets to Adam, to struggle just a little bit in getting that one done, unless it's a clean overtake. Adam probably needs to try and get himself in the DRS of Jock to make it a bit easier to defend it.
That's been one of Rob's secret weapons this season, isn't it? Adam as a teammate. He's done a job for him quite a few times.
Yeah, the DRS is a lapped car to allow Rob to hold a gap. He's fought people where he maybe wouldn't necessarily fight because he knows his race is pre-compromised, but he's seen the bigger picture in terms of Rob, and it's gave them a... Oh, Pedro round, let's go on board. Well, he's managed to get going pretty quickly. I think he dropped it at that second chicane. He's got very hot rear tyres though. But Adams came on, I think, in the last few races as well. He was not scoring well for a few races, but he's consistently now threatening that top 6. As Matty sets the fastest lap of the race on these mediums. 46.5. And Alan Evans and Mick, I think, they're about to do battle up the Kemmel Straight.
I think this race has kind of ended what might have been a top 4 for the championship, and it's just between Matty and Rob now.
Oh, I don't know so much because we see here a big outside move there in Alwyn. And Rob Wilson, what's happened? Rob is within half a second of Michelando. These guys are both absolutely spending energy, but as Chris had a moment, the gap was 1.6. Yeah, and that seems a lot of time in a very little amount of corners for Rob to close the gap, although now it's going, I think the gap's stable, so I think Mika's dropped some time. And Dixie is in the DRS of Jock, so Dixie in that podium position.
He's going to want to defend that for all it's worth as well.
Oh, and who's that? Oh, it could be another safety car. No, that's Radion, Eau Rouge.
Oh.
Bottom of Eau Rouge, VSC out. Oh. Now these can change. And that would it change anything? Oh yeah, the soft tyres probably would. A safety car now, and probably the soft tyre would get you to the end of the race pretty comfortably. 7 or 8 laps can be done, but I don't think it's going to upgrade to a safety car.
Though, is there to fit back in? So would it not?
That's true. The traffic factor.
You'd be right at the back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that is very true. And once you get that DRS reactivated, is Mika and Jock? They're both going for the pits. Oh, so they're taking an opportunity, so that this could be smart, because they're only going to lose out 3 or 4, oh, but the green flags came back straight away, and that's really going to hurt them now.
I think that's a poor strategy choice.
And now a Ferrari 1-2. Adam in between the 2 championship protagonists.
There's a Mato Man strategy choice, I don't know, unless they are damaged.
And Mika came out on the medium compound tyre. Oh.
Wow.
Oh. And now he'll go through a big move up the hill. Through Radion. He goes round on Rodders even before the DRS activation zone, and Matty now in Dixie's DRS zone. And I am very interested to see how this battle plays out.
Would Rob be wise to back up now and give Dixie DRS, do you think?
If he could, yep. I think it would be smart, but then Rob's got to think about the championship, because if Matty can slingshot through, he does probably have about a 10 to 12% advantage on the tyre, which near the end of the race could be the difference, you know, if he can hold that 1.5 second gap. But as you say, Matty probably, with Dixie not having the DRS, it's probably very hard for him to defend.
Matty's got fresher tyres as well. Than Dixie and Rob. No, not Dixie, but he will have them. He'll have fresher tyres than Rob.
And Rob, Either way, a champion's drive today. This drive alone merits a championship because he was stone dead last off the line. He had an absolute mare on the traction zone, whacked the inside wall, and I think he fell to like P16, and somehow he managed to drag himself back up there.
Yes, he's got DRS.
Oh,
His rear wing's open. I think Rob is backed off.
not this time, no, because Rob has managed to pull us out. Oh no,
Oh,
he
he
is!
has.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's been smart about this. Oh, there's some tactics going on now, Shiv. This race is exploding. So now, does Adam mount the charge on his teammate? Who's got the better straight line speed in the car? Here comes
it's gonna be
Matty,
close.
goes to the racing line. Dixie needs to defend this one off.
That's good,
He's
he boxed
staying
it
on
in.
the inside line,
Very,
and for
very good
one
driving
lap
by
they will
Dixie.
stay behind. And
Great
can
driving by
they do
Dixie.
this for 7 laps, Shiv? Can they do it?
He knew then Matty couldn't go anywhere, he was boxed in. Very good driving then by Dixie.
7 laps to go. Ferrari pulling out all the box of tricks to keep a charging Matty at bay.
I imagine Matty is livid in that crash.
Oh yes, he will be burning. But they're not doing anything wrong.
No,
In
absolutely
fact,
not.
tactically they're being very, very smart.
No. I mean, if they could get Arwin and Mick into the fight by continuing to back off, and Matty getting pressure from behind as well, that would be something.
And I know Dixie, because he's running my setup, that car has some good straight line speed in it. So if Matty wants
I
it,
know Rob doesn't have much straight line speed.
and that's obviously why he's getting the gap in that middle sector then.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matty's got setup similar to mine, and I know Matty's got straight line speed. I think Matty needs to make the move on Dixie in an area where there isn't DRS.
Try and get a
To
run.
possibly launch him on into the bus stop.
Yeah. Maybe hold back in the energy and save it for when Adam's used a bit to defend, and then
Yeah, I
attack.
think that'll be the way.
But Rob is doing a very good job, but here Matty has got a hell of a run here in Dixie, but you see the DRS just neutralises it, and look at the Ferrari
boxed
boys,
him in again,
they're
that is
blocking
brilliant.
the middle of the road, and
He
there's
boxed him in,
nothing
that
here
is
he can
brilliant.
go, and Rob's allowed his teammate to go through here, and the tactics are all in play. Matty will be burning in there.
Oh, Rothers is out. And Michelander's just got past Brown Dog.
Oh, and could this be a safety car? That's
Where is
another
that?
VSC,
VSC.
so it'll neutralise the race again at Eau Rouge, I think.
Yeah, top of the Rouge in the house.
And I think although Matty will be he'll be annoyed, he's got to respect the clean tactics. You know, they could
Absolutely.
be really dirty about it, but they are not. They're being as fair
I know.
as they possibly can, but being as hard as they can. And yeah, it's good to see. You don't see this often in a game, you know, people using tactics. It's usually just flat out racing as we go back to green flag.
Oh, Matty lost a lot of time.
He has fell off, although he's pulled himself straight back into the DRS range. Now, does Dixie get off a bit and let his teammate slingshot back through and put on the defence in that, because he knows track position here is way more critical for Rob?
Brown Dog's had an accident somewhere. But he's got to go that he's fine.
So, round 3 coming up, Shiv.
I don't think there's any other battles on track, actually.
No, this is it.
No, there isn't. This is the battle.
And it's a very entertaining one. So here we go, Matty looking very close to Rob this time. Of course, Rob has that DRS this time.
Rob needs the DRS
Now,
to defend.
Dixie is going to have a hard time here, because if Matty gets through as well, it's going to be very tough. Is Rob not going to look to overtake Adam here and do the box, and Matty's going to come for it, but he just can't, there's nowhere to go, and the Ferrari boys are absolutely masterminding this racing here. What are we seeing, Shiv? What is going on?
This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, Stephen, you need to you need to scroll back and watch what the Ferrari boys have been up to. It's tactical genius at work here to keep Matty behind them.
I do think Matty's only move is towards the bus stop. He's quite close here, actually. Oh, Dixie's got a 3-second penalty.
So that's going to drop Dixie off the podium at this point, but I don't think Dixie's going to bother. I think he'll be enjoying this. I know Adam very well, and I know
how close Arwen is. Arwen might get on the DRS of these guys.
And Mick's not far away as well. 5 laps to go. Shift, could we see a 5-car battle for the lead?
Is Matty making a move? Oh, he's not quite close enough. He's definitely got more straight line speed.
Yeah, you see Rob just lose the tenths, and then in the braking zones he can build that couple of tenths back up. It's all on the exit of turn 1 here, but Rob seems he's very good in the traction zone, Rob. That makes him a very hard man to overtake. And Dixie is giving his teammate plenty of distance, but Rob just misses his apex a little bit there, and I think that's going to allow Matty to get really, really close here. Energy looking pretty even. But of course, Rob has that
Rob didn't look perfect through a rouge.
So here we go. Matty's going to try.
Boxed him in.
And we're like five races to go in the championship. This right here could be critical.
Oh, Matty's lost it! Matty's lost it!
No! He's dropped the car!
He's dropped it in Rivage.
Was that the inside curb?
I don't know if he hit the back of Rob. I just saw him spinning. I don't think he's got any damage.
And now the Ferrari boys need to scamper away, because can they clear? Can Dixie be rewarded for the team efforts, and can they clear? In fact, I tell you something, if you look at the leader gap, Dixie is absolutely borderline in clearing that gap to Arwen Evans.
Yeah, Arwen had to slam on the brakes because Matty spun in front of him. He's got another yellow sector 1.
Oh, and that's Jerry, and we could get a safety car. We're 1 lap away from it not being able to come out anymore. Or maybe not, actually. I think it's 4 to go. We're safe, so I don't think we'll get any safety cars. In that regards, it's absolutely over. And Dixie and Adam now are opening up the gap to Arwen Evans.
Very good drive by Arwen.
I don't think so. Yeah, the Alfa Romeo man, you mentioned him when you joined in the comms, and he's been rewarded for the speed he has shown, because even if Mick gets through, he's got that penalty and a mighty gap back to Leon.
Matty's going to try and make a move on Theon, possibly going up the hill.
Oh, PSGL got a safety car with 3 laps to go, so you can get them with 3 laps.
Oh, Matty's got a penalty just to compound his misery.
Where does Matty fell to? He's in P6, although that P6 is very safe. Can he get through Leon? Can he clear Leon and clear the gap in time, still finish top 5? I think that is possible for Matty.
I think Rob's not going to attack Dixie, he's just going to let him finish, I think.
Which I think's the bet, as long as he's not critical to the guys behind, and they are pulling away now.
Although Rob is out of the DRS.
And Dixie under the safety car, going for that fresh medium tyre. He's got his strategy absolutely spot on, because now you're seeing that Rob's medium tyre, though I think Dixie is just allowing him to come back into the range here. And very good team play by Ferrari. As we tick down to just a couple of laps to go, and now the gaps are opened up quite a lot. Will Rob go through?
Battle is Matty and Theon.
Oh, let's go to that one actually, yeah, because I've got it in the leader gap because I'm silly.
I wonder if Theon will play DRS.
And Matty going the wrong way, long way round turn 1. Leon Evans leaves the space, and I tell you, if he can get that job done, that's a hell of a move. He probably wants to keep his wing just a little behind here. Yeah, he did, so he wants the DRS, that was smart. Probably pick up a warning there for that little cut into a rouge, but now Matty will get through and he gives himself a couple of laps now to clear that gap.
He's safe to Michelando now.
Oh, and Mika, yeah, oh, he's just got a penalty. So we had some explosions there for a few laps, but we hit the quiet spot. And it's a shame for Matty, because I'd like to see that battle continue for
that was brilliant, wasn't
the laps. It was some fantastic racing.
That was brilliant stuff.
Some of the best, tactically, some of the best stuff I've ever seen on terms of sim.
Absolutely, that was brilliant. Pedro has the fastest lap currently.
Pedro? Oh wow. And he's just outside the top 10. Can he catch
Yeah,
Dale?
no, he'll still get a point.
Oh, nice.
And he'll get a mention in the stats.
Oof.
I think Matty's got the pace to get fourth, possibly.
Yeah, gap out 1.2.
It's going to take a big lap. Dixie's second as it stands.
No, I think third now. Yeah, 2.8 the gap for
sorry,
Arwen,
yeah,
so
close,
Arwen's managed to drag himself just inside. Although the gap now is back out to 3 seconds, so that's coming and going, so Adam's going to have to be cautious of that one.
That might be the closest battle.
Yes, that penalty gap. Oh, what's that further back? Two drivers there, Dale and Pedro.
Oh, we got
I think.
Pedro and Dale.
Yeah. And I think
Pedro's done a
end,
5-stop strategy, so he's got really fresh tyres.
He's done 5 pit stops.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what I read.
Only Pedro's went for the full match strat today, and Arwen picks up a time penalty, and that's it over. It's over for Arwen in these attempts to get that P2 position, but still a very, very safe podium, which he can be very, very proud of. Dixie just needs to drive the car home. They'll get up to Blanchimon for the second last time, and then they will go on to the last lap. So it's been a very exciting, interchanging conditions, made it very interesting.
Matty's P4 as it stands now.
Oh, has Mick got a couple of penalties?
Yeah, Matty's P4 now. Although he hasn't yet cleared Theon.
He is getting close. So he'll have 1 lap to find 7/10 of a second.
I'm still surprised by Michelando and Jock's strategy into that VSC to pit.
It's maybe a question of what could have been for them.
Absolutely, I think one of them would have got a podium, especially with what was happening at the front.
Yeah, of course.
They were both ahead of Arwen at the time.
And that's it, it played right into Dixie and Rob Wills's hands, really, with him getting out of the way. They were able to start controlling the race from the front in the manner that suited them to best control. With Mika there, and if Jock was there, they would have been forced to just go racing, all of them.
Yeah, they would have.
Last lap of the race.
Pulling away from Theon as much as I thought he would.
Yeah, gap's just 2.3, so Matty might not be able to get that P5 solidified, although it's up to 2.5, 2.6 now, so he's starting to find the time in the middle sector.
This though is a huge statement in the championship.
Yes. Rob, he's going to open up a good old lead now. I think it'll go to well north of 50 points. This course gives him a very, very comfortable margin, and Ferrari, I think with a 1-2 today, Ferrari have almost got the constructors sealed, because that'll put the gap to like 190 points. Or 170 points, which I'm hardly going to see that one being overturned, although I think still a couple of races to it's mathematically impossible. But Dixie through the last corner, he is going to take the checkered flag, and a Ferrari 1-2 at Spa.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Arwen Evans though, drive of the day for me, he gets P3, although Dixie is definitely got to be commended for his teamwork there. Leon Evans does get P4 in the end.
We got
Matty
P4,
loses
wow.
out by half a second. Matty P5, Mick P6, Jock and Mika Lando, as Shiv says, the story of maybe what could have been for those two. Brown P9, Pedro P10, Dale 11 and Laverick P12. We lost Yeri, Rodos, Keith, Shiv, Metcalf, Skarma and Mataman all early doors in the race. What a race. What a race.
Good.
That was hella fun. So let's get, if you got Arwin, can you add him in? I can get Rob. Dixie's already added to the party. So I'll just tell Adam to join, because he's already in the party, because he's the guy I use to have some zen when I'm doing the commentary.
Have you already invited Rob?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is Dixie, the man that took the checker flag this evening. We'll wait on all and joining Alvin, a P3 man.
Ferrari 1-2 the season.
Is it? There you go, stats man. It's like having Jensen in the comms. You and Jensen used to like a house on fire when it comes to stats. But race winner joins us, and we will start with yourself, Rob. Firstly, very good recovery to get back from what was quite a sketchy start, to say the least.
Yeah, just a bit.
But nothing makes for the tactics on display from lap 17 or lap 15 to lap 20 in that race.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Talk us through how that was for you.
I don't think he's joined the chat yet, but Adam is the greatest teammate walking the face of this planet.
Yeah, he's here.
I'm here, bro.
Literally the greatest teammate ever. And it was weird how we both instantly knew, even though we never discussed anything like that, we both knew what the other was doing. Lap 18 before he passed me, he'd had a bad exit out of turn 1 and he was 1.3 seconds behind.
Yep.
I slowed down, I braked entering Eau Rouge to get it back to 9/10 to make sure he'd still got DRS, to make sure Matty stayed behind us both going up the Kemmel Straight, otherwise it was all over because he was going to pass us both. So I braked going into Eau Rouge, but that was brilliant. The start was vile. I put it into third and back end just went, nope, I'm off sideways.
Oh, so just complete break of traction.
Yeah, first gear fine, second gear fine, pulled into third and back end just spun around on itself completely.
And strategy, I think you got it. Well, in the end, you show you got it spot on. I think that extra stop that Dixie and Matty took, I think, was the perfect strategy in the end, because they only lost out a couple of tracks. Or I think Dixie only lost out like 2 positions. I think he just came out right behind the guys that chose not to pit. Tyres in a bad way near the end, were they suffering?
Yeah, 65% front left. My strategy was, as soon as it went dry, pit for mediums and wing it, because you won't know this, but the weather thing, unless you've told you, said it was going to rain at the end.
Oh, so that'll be why there was raindrops when we were getting the results screen. It just started when you just
Yeah,
finished.
so I thought mediums, because if it's going to rain at the end, I can push mediums to the next bit of rain. So that was my strategy. Once it wasn't going to rain, I didn't have a strategy. It was just keep driving and hope for a safety car. When that didn't come, it was just keep driving.
So how many laps did you do in the end there on the mediums? 15? 16?
I don't know I genuinely don't know when I boxed.
No, lap 5, I think, or lap 6
yeah,
you
lap
boxed.
5, I think.
So 15 or 16 laps, which is a tall order on the mediums.
Yeah, they felt grim by end. And I didn't realise up until 2 laps to go that Adam had actually got a penalty.
Oh. You
Because I just thought, no, I didn't even know. And then I looked up, I was like, oh, he's got a penalty. I can win this.
Saying that, there was probably that many thought processes going on for you doing the Ferrari cars today, and as you say, not discussing it, but still kind of being on that team wavelength there. I don't know if it was anything to do with, I don't know if I instigate anything if anybody watches the stream, but I mean, Matty, if you're listening, I'm sorry for instigating any blocking, but tactically it was genius. I mean, you've never done
That was
anything
brilliant.
dirty, ever. There was never anything dirty done. You just gave Matty, every time that you know it was a clear-cut overtaking opportunity, you gave him no options. He tried, but there was just no options. Adam would stay in the racing line, you would block off that inside line, and once there's two cars parked beside each other, you have no choice. And it was astounding driving for the two of you. It was just really
I
enjoyable
want
to
to say,
watch.
Adam, your car placement on one lap was absolutely inch perfect. Because Matty had such a good run, he'd have had the both of you, and you placed your car, so Rob was blocking in front of him, and you were just on his side, he just boxed him completely in.
I just noticed
pitch
Rob
perfect.
just hard went left back to the racing line. I was like, right, well, I'm going to stay. I'll brake a bit earlier. Rob stays in front. I follow him through. Me and Rob's teammates, we talk to each other without talking. That's what they ingrained in us at the Ferrari Academy.
But very good job, Rob, and of
Thank you.
course the championship lead opens right up now. I think I was saying just before the end of the race, that's going to be way above 50 points now, I would think.
Yeah, because I went from thinking I'm going to lose a lot of points here because Matty and Mataman were first and second, and I was 17th at one point, I think.
Yep.
So I was like damage limitation, but then I passed 7 cars on lap 1 when it was raining. Me and Brown Dog were just siding through the field. It was brilliant fun. So, yeah, I'm happy with that in the end. Very, very happy.
And of course that means now you could afford, although Touchwood, Harry Wood's best, would never want it to happen, but you could have a really bad situation in a race and you don't finish and it's not so disheartening because you still have a good chunky gap.
Yes, that was good.
So very good job
good.
today, Rob.
Thank you.
What I would say, a champion's drive, and as Shiv says, a very big statement of intent from Ferrari this evening.
Thank you.
Adam, P2. It was a dicey P2 because Arwen was not far away and he was making you sweat for that in that penalty zone near the end. I don't know if you could see Arwen's gap, but Arwen unfortunately...
I knew what energy he had as well.
Oh,
Ah,
interesting.
yes. Yeah, it was dicey. It was. Ultimately, though, I was happy that Rob was taking the win. He was going for the championship. Yes, I won it on track. I've finally got a podium again. I've been owed one for a couple of weeks. It was a thoroughly enjoyable race, and the in-syncness with Rob on track as well, keeping Matty behind, was an absolute blast.
I need to hear you both say grazie ragazzi before we end the stream.
No, it was phenomenal race, fun race.
I did say that. I say a lot, but it probably a stressful one. I was, because I know you very well now, and I was 100% sure that you were enjoying that.
Oh yes. When
It was a great watch.
Yeah, no, I raced to have fun. Yes,
It was
podiums
brilliant to watch.
are nice, but I thoroughly enjoyed that whole, except for the start. My start was a bit dicey because obviously I've noticed Rob sideways because I nearly went the same. Then I overshot my brakes at turn 1 and I tapped Chiv. I don't know if he realised that.
Someone did, and I swore about you in my own private comms.
Yeah, no, it was me. I definitely, I just wanted to have a closer look at your side of your back of your car for cheating purposes.
Maybe McLaren
just-
copying Ferrari.
Yeah, we just settled again and raced my race when the safety car came out and Matty was limping in, and then I somehow got out in front of Chiv.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked. I wasn't able
No,
to
I
go
don't.
through Matty, but you were.
Yeah,
And then
no idea.
trying to catch you up, I binned it.
Yeah, of course,
I've
because
watched it,
Matty was when you got through to the front and under the safety car. Did you know exactly what was going on in the pit stop? Sorry to jump away for you, Adam.
No, you're good.
Yes, I did, because we were in chat and I could hear, I've got a puncture and I can't go through and I'm doing 20 miles an hour. I'm like, well, this is quite,
Yeah.
this is good. This is all going quite
I
well.
just wasn't sure if he knew the situation, but he held up a lot of drivers in the pits.
Oh, I do love it when stuff like that happens.
But anyway, Adam, very, very good job. A very thoroughly deserved 1-2 for Ferrari. Aye, the
Second one this season.
the way you's controlled. Talk about, like, people cannot usually see drivers control a race at the front because the gap's usually massive and it's just controlled over a distance. But we seen some full-on race control there. Like, yous had the race by the scruff of the neck, and we were making sure no matter what that yous got the outcome that yous wanted out of it. So it was very enjoyable to watch.
Thank you. No, it was fun to be a part of as well.
So, Arwen, are you here? Without a shadow of a doubt, my driver of the day, because I think this is the first time I've spoken to you this season.
What the fuck? What have I got to do to get it?
So,
Well done, Owen.
Well done, great driving.
Well done, mate.
yeah, you looked quite pacey today, Arwen. Shame about that penalty in the end. Could have been P2. You were right on the cusp of getting at them, but still P3 on a tough old tricky race. You've got to be happy.
He's got a cracking.
How
When
was the
Matty
race?
spun,
Oh,
Aaron,
sorry,
how
you
did
go,
he? Sorry,
Shiv.
Chris.
No,
I
you
was
go,
gonna
mate.
ask, when Matty spun, what happened to him?
I know the answer to that one.
He just clipped your back end, didn't
Yeah, he just drove into the back of me. I was struggling with grip, so I was a little bit slower into that apex than he would have probably expected. And he just clipped me in the game, did what the game does, and just spun him round for no apparent reason.
Which
Yeah, I
is
saw it on
brutal.
comms and just saw his back end go in front of him. And I couldn't work out if he'd hit the back of you or if he'd touched the curb on Rivage. But well done, Aaron. Wow.
Oh, I think that's right. I think I caught that on stream. I catch that on stream. I forgot about that. And then you jump onto what looked to be the optimum strategy, the same as Dixie. When the safety car came out, you opted to go for that extra, the safe medium to the end, if we would call it that. Rob's obviously still paid dividends, but do you think if that puncture never comes, you could have gave these guys a bit of hassle at the front? Because you were right on pace with them. And then once you're in that DRS, anything can happen, especially with the tactics these Ferrari boys were doing. They were making a fast race quite slow.
Judging by Aaron's lap times, I'd say he's probably on the same pace as Adam and Rob.
Yeah, I think that's why that penalty gap was always kind of 2.5 to 3 seconds and always going up and down there. Sometimes a little out, sometimes a little in. Yeah, well, that was less battling and more hard tactics from Ferrari. There was a lot of lifting and slow corners and tactically just putting ourselves in the right place. And Matty must have been absolutely burning. But
It was the Schumacher
it was
Barrichello
fair.
days.
It was
Oh,
fair.
honestly, it was brilliant. It was so good to watch. It was really, really entertaining.
So is this a sign,
Your
Arwen?
highlights video, Chiv.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a highlights video of what my stream caught, absolutely. I mean, there's about 5 times me and Chris may have orgasmed as people were going up Eau Rouge. It was that good.
Yes, there was. Yeah, there was some tremendous racing tonight. Is this a sign, Arwen? Can you do it again next week? Because you've shown you've got the pace, right? So why not? Yeah, just races kind of went against you. Did you change anything today? Did you approach the race any differently to yield the result, or just another day and the result came? Well, I hope it comes together for more, because I'd like to see you up there trying to get in amongst it. Very good job today, Alwyn, and to Rob, to Adam, to Alwyn. Of course, Alwyn gets the driver of the day. Adam can moan all he wants.
Ah, see, I don't know what I got. I don't think I crossed the
Alwyn's
line
first ever
first.
podium in P0. Shush your face.
It's just...
Shiv.
Congrats, Alwyn, though. Congrats.
Shiv, do you have anything for the guys before we wrap it up for this evening?
No, it was nice to see a full Italian marquee podium.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I will leave with that start.
There we go. Shiv's leaving it on a start. So well done to Rob, to Adam, and to Alwyn. A very, very enjoyable one from P0 this evening. Join us next week for round 13 at... Rob?
We've got a week off next week.
Oh,
Because
freebie,
the
because we're at
Miami-
Miami Grand Prix
Yeah.
in their fake marina. Sorry,
I think we're at Zandvoort the week after.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
I'm
off to
racing it,
Zandvoort
I get a win.
after that. So,
Yeah,
on that,
Zandvoort, and then
oh,
it'll
sorry.
be sprint race at Monza.
Oh, some more sprint, and that's where OTL. You teed me up beautifully there, Shiv. That's where OTL is tomorrow, Monza, for a sprint race. So, on that note,
Oh.
we will see you then.